Hey, good afternoon, and welcome to the Milk Crate Business Moments podcast, where every business owner has at least one milk crate moment in their business, where you're metaphorically sitting on an upside down milk crate contemplating your poor business choices. You may have thought of quitting. Maybe it was you've been at this too long, you haven't gotten the success you were looking for. It's really where your pity party meets what you're made of. I'm Kuhn, I'm your host, and today with me is Kristin Crockett. Kristin is an incredible, successful coach, or has been for the last 10 years. She has resided in the top 1% of salespeople for almost 20 years. And when she works with her clients, they do things like double and triple their sales in a really short amount of time. And we're going to talk about that, Kristin. Grow their businesses with ease and grace, have a lot of fun winning and achieving lucrative results. Kristin, welcome to Milk Crate Moments.
Thank you for having me, Jean. I'm so excited to be here with you.
Well, I'm so excited to talk to you about your Milk Crate moment.
My pity pot.
What'd you say?
I go, my pity pot.
Yeah, you're right. That's what we all do, right? We all have been there. We've all been throwing a little pity party for ourselves in our businesses. And really, I do believe that's where we decide what we're made of, right? You can either get up off your milk crate, stop crying, stop whining, stop throwing that pity party and get up off your milk crate and get to work, or you literally will close your business, right?
Right.
So let's talk about what your milk crate moment was.
All right. Well, it happened, right? It was shortly after I got divorced. And during the transition from in the divorce, I decided to move in with my mom for a time. And in a lot of ways, it just was really great because it gave the triplets comfort. So I'm a mom of triplets. They're 14 now. Mm-hmm. But it had given the triplets comfort, and it was really great. And they were out of the school most of the time. But in COVID, what happened was everybody was remote learning. Mm-hmm. And I had this moment where I was like, well, at least I'm here. It was like a safety net. Like I felt really safe. I mean, I paid my mom money, of course, to live there, and I paid, my car, but it was very relaxed. Mm-hmm. If I needed an extra week, it was no big deal and all those things. Right. And I didn't feel like I could move on, and I had this moment where I felt really, really just completely powerless. So I had this moment where I had watched my mother and she was walking down the stairs, and I looked around and I could see the kids were all in classroom, and there was just absolutely no privacy. There wasn't privacy for the kids. There wasn't privacy for my mother. And we had turned her house into a classroom. And I just realized, I'm like, how am I supposed to move on with my life if I'm using this as my safety blanket? And I need to grow my business and do whatever I need to do to move on with our lives. And so that was my moment where I just decided, I'm like, you know what? I got to move on. And within a month of that moment, I had tripled my bit. I mean, I literally went after my business, and I had created quite a few new customers. I had also bought a new car, and I had rented a new house and moved into it. So all within a month of that moment, I'm like, there's just no way I can't. And it was that decision that just drove me into action like I had never been in before. And
well, I love that. Right. Well, we know, right, when you take inspired action, amazing things can happen. So once you got out of your mom's house, and by the way, I would have rather lived in a refrigerator box and go back with my mom, but I didn't have triplets either, right? But I would have made them live in a refrigerator box, right? But so it's great.
Told my mom after that I would love to live with her again, except she'll move into my house.
There you go, right? There you go.
Yes.
So after that and living with your mom and moving out, how did that affect your business?
my business started to skyrocket. I actually started my podcast shortly after that, Courageous Destiny, Creating Your Own Rules of Empowerment. And I actually started a group coaching program shortly thereafter as well, called Courageous Destiny Rebirth. You get to choose victim or victor, because
Oh,
that crate moment was the time I chose. I'm like, well, I can sit here and I can be a victim, or I can go after it and be the victor. And I'm like, how many other people need to hear this message? And so I created a whole program from that moment.
I love that. And I love the title, Victim or Victor, right? Every day you get to choose. It's your job to choose every day, right?
Exactly.
We were talking about that, about literally yesterday on a call. We were talking about how you have to re-enroll yourself every single day in your business. So you might say every single day you have to decide if you're going to be a victim, like you're saying, a victim or a victor.
Mm-hmm. And I love to say, I actually said this in my 7 Secrets to Limitless Sales. I do a signature speech, and one of my secrets is the most important person that needs to be sold on your product or service is you.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that could not be closer to the truth, right? That
Yes. If you're not
absolutely.
sold on it, then you're not enrolling other people. So, and you're always hiding something. So,
That's really interesting that you said that. I was talking to somebody this morning, and we were talking about how many people, when this time of year, they're like, yeah, I'm taking a break. I'm taking the summer off. Have you ever taken the summer off?
no.
That should be their milk crate moment, right? I made a decision to take the summer off because we know that when you go back to work, whatever you're doing the day you start back, you're not going to see any money coming in for 90 days. So if you're taking the summer
Exactly.
off, and then you've got another 90 days on top of it, you're literally losing 6 months worth of work, or 6 months worth of revenue, I guess was a better way to say it.
Right. 6 months worth of revenue. And I'm like, I know the weather's nice and all those things, but like I do things like I work outside sometimes, I'm doing my business development or I'm having my calls and I enjoy the weather. I
Right.
just don't need to take the break from my business, because doing so just puts me in such a backlog and I'm not helping people. I think you should love what you do. So if you don't love what you do, right, that's to me what Courageous Destiny is all about, is learning
I,
how to love what you do and then create a business around it.
I
So,
think you nailed it right there when you said, why would you take the time off if you love what you do and you're making money at it? You wouldn't, right? You just wouldn't. So I love that. I had a question for you. How do you, how do you help your clients how do you're a sales coach. So let's start there. So you're a sales coach. How do you work with your clients to help them build up their sales?
well, how I work with my clients to help me, I mean, there's many different ways, but it's really interesting. One of the first things that we have to do is understand the story they have about sales, and so I'll have very deep conversations with them to really outline what they think about sales, and then make sure that they have a clear, measurable goal to start out with, because that's another thing is people get afraid to commit to a goal. So they never put anything down on paper. Well, then they never have to sell anything either. So,
Yeah,
so
right.
to what do you think about sales? How are you framing sales? And then what is your goal?
I, I
So,
love that. So we're going to take just a quick break here, right? Because this podcast is sponsored, and it's brought to you by the Business Turnaround Conference, which is coming up October 19th to the 21st in Glen Ellen, Illinois. The Turnaround Conference is about building your business to create a life of freedom and choice. And that's what we're talking about today, Kristin, right? That you help your clients create that life of freedom and choice when it comes to their money. So how to create a life of freedom and choice in a less than desirable economy, because oh my gosh, because participating in a recession is not mandatory. It's a choice. So choose wisely. And you can find out more about the Turnaround Conference at turnaroundconference.com. So now back to our lovely guest, Kristin Crockett, our sales coach guest today. So now tell me again, What is the number one problem you see your clients having around sales?
The number one problem I see my clients having around sales is consistency. They will take a lot of action. They're like, I'm ready to go. And they take a lot of action and they get some really great initial results, but then they take their foot off the gas. Mm-hmm. And when they take their foot off the gas, then they get those results. And so one of the things that I love to say to people is, it is the consistent action. It is in the work that creates the results. And one of my favorite things to say to my clients is, commit to the actions and then give the rest up to God. Let him take the rest. Of course, have your sales goal,
right?
But really it's about committing to those actions like you would commit to a result, right? I'm going to commit to my actions. I'm going to take them every day. That's what's important. And then allow them to give the rest up to God.
So when you teach them, is there a process that you take them through? Because I know you always talk about the fact that how your clients have these amazing results to start with, right? They have amazing results, and then what happens?
They have amazing results, and then what I work with them to do is then capture what their secret formula is, because at that point they have a secret formula. They have a winning formula. And so to take them back through and really identify what were all the pieces that they did in action that created that result that they love, and to build on that, and to get more courageous too. Courageous destiny is like, you want to do things that tackle your fear as much as possible. It's not about living life fearless, but when you do spot fear, then you want to overcome it. And sales is a place where a lot of people stop themselves because they're afraid.
Oh, I agree.
So it's, once they have the secret formula, then we want to build on the secret formula so that we can continue the success and get them to really wherever they want to go. And wherever they want to go, if they build on that secret formula, but they've got to, or their secret formula that they're able to identify when they have those big giant leaps forward.
I think that's it. You're exactly right. They don't know what they don't know about the fear, right?
Right.
So when you help them, when you pull that secret formula out of them, right? It's their secret formula. You just show them what it is.
Right.
Right.
It absolutely is. We all have this tremendous amount of ability within us, but because of all of I do work strongly with my clients on mindset,
mm-hmm.
And how is your mind stopping you from taking action? Right. And that's a big part of what I do, because, even when I start talking to people, they're like, well, I'm not afraid to call them. I'm just not calling them. And I'm like, well, you're afraid.
Yeah.
You could be afraid that you're not going to be successful, so you don't call them, right? It doesn't have to mean you're afraid of that person. It usually does all come back down to fear.
Right. Or they're afraid that they will actually have to make the offer, right? That's the part. It's the calling is not scary. It's the making the offer that's scary to them. Right.
And
scary to a lot of people.
Is to build in the heart and the why you're selling that product or service so much that nothing can shut you up, because a lot of people are afraid to ask for the close.
Right.
But if you really get that your product or service is incredible, and if it's not incredible, make it incredible, or pick one that is incredible, because there's a gazillion things you can sell out there. Right. But if you really get that it's incredible, then you're being stingy if you don't share.
You're right. You're not servicing the client.
Really important. That's like a real key thing. Is I love to help people make their why so powerful that nothing's going to stop them.
I love that.
Not even them.
Tell me the very best success story you've had.
The very best success story I had a woman that hired me, and she was going through a very tumultuous divorce. And she had to get her business on track, and because she wasn't getting paid the child support, like she was supposed to be getting paid, but she wasn't getting paid. And so one of the things she wasn't doing at all is any sales actions. She really wasn't doing sales actions. You know, she was incredible at what she did. She was an interior designer, but she wasn't doing any sales actions.
Mm.
And so just by asking for a few referrals, so I coached her to do a few referrals because I'm like, I'm clear that everybody loves you because she's just a diamond, this woman. You know, asking for a few referrals and shifting things just a little bit, she went from 50,000 to 150,000 within 3 months. And that to me,
Holy cow.
yeah, she surprised me too. But I was
$1,000 in 3 months.
mhm,
Wow.
yeah,
Good for her. Good for you. High
yeah.
five for you. Right?
Yeah, it's those blind spots in people that they don't see. That's why hiring a coach, you know, is so critical. You don't see what you don't see, you know, it's like trying to go out when you're trying to create your success and it's not coming. It's like looking at a mirror that's right in front of your face and try
Mhm.
to figure out what to do next. But when you have a coach that can help you identify the blind spots, then you can go much faster.
Oh, well, that's pretty damn fast.
It was fast. That was a good one.
Yeah, yeah. So I always ask my guests if they have a free offer. Can you give the people who listen to this podcast, and hopefully it'll be some of your people, some of my people, right? Somebody who just stumbled upon it because they had a couple hours free on a Wednesday afternoon. So do you have something that you can offer people that can help them?
Absolutely. So I offer a complimentary 20-minute sales accelerator session. And my goal in that call is to get that client, you know, or that potential client or
Mhm.
prospect a sale that they might not have had if we didn't speak. And so I like to show them how they can get more sales in that sale accelerator session. And then of course the option is always, you know, to work together further. So
Oh, I love that. So how can they reach you? Because we no longer are on Restream, right? I messed it up already. So we've
oh,
moved over to Zoom to do this podcast. And then I'm uploading it later. But so how can they reach you?
they can Kristin Crockett on Facebook. You can PM
Will
me.
you spell it?
Absolutely. Kristin Crockett, Crockett. So you can friend me and PM me. That's great. Or you can email me at Kristin, Kristin, at courageousdestiny.com.
Kristin, Kristin
Mm-hmm.
at courageousdestiny.com. I like to just repeat stuff, right? I'm leaving a
Yes.
message for somebody. I'm always repeating my phone number like 3 times because for me, I like it when people do that because I'm a transposer. So,
Yeah.
all right, listen, thank you so much for being here today and sharing number one, your milk crate moment, right? That those are, I think that hopefully people are looking at those as inspirational segments in somebody else's life where they had to make that choice of let me chuck it all, right? I can't do this, or really dig deep and find out what they're made of and who they really are. And you're
You know,
pretty awesome.
Gina, I hope you don't mind me saying one more thing about that milk crate moment. One
No.
thing I knew about being a coach was I wasn't going to quit. You know, and if you're a small business owner and you know you're not going to quit, you deserve to be really, really thriving in what you do. And I just wanted to say that because I think that that was a big part of my milk crate moment.
How long have you been self-employed?
10 years.
10 years. I have been self-employed 37 years, right? You're,
Wow.
you're right. I've had that I've quitting has never been an option. Crying and having a pity party has totally been an option at times,
Yes.
right? But quitting was never an option, right? So
Right.
I love that fact that you said that, right? Quitting, right? That's how you know you're an entrepreneur
Yes.
when you don't have a plan B.
Exactly. There is no plan B.
There
There's
is
no
no
plan
plan
B.
B. Right, right. Kristin, thanks so much for being here. We will talk later, and I so appreciate you being on Milk Crate Moments. Have a good day.
Oh, my honor. You too.
All right, bye.
Bye bye.